Why is the market going up in this crazy bull run? What stocks am I buying now to participate in this rally? How can I protect myself? Hang on. This is not financial nor professional advice. This video is for entertainment only. You know, the news was so horrible for so long that if we got any good news, it drove the market up. But now we actually have half a dozen or more things that seem to be going right or could be going right. And it normally wouldn't be that big of a deal. But after so much bad news, this is a supercharged relief rally, and it's morphing into a bull run. And I'm going to run with the bulls like they do in Barcelona when it gets like this. It's crazy not to. So, you know, social media companies got good news. Pins, the Pinterest company, it's a social media company. They predicted modest growth during their earnings call recently, and they noted that they had good sales and they had good user data, which hasn't been heard for a while, especially from social media companies. So I think that was the first breath of fresh air. We still have things like Activision Blizzard. Their revenue fell. They predicted lower sales. Their Call of Duty game, I guess, isn't going as well as they wanted to. So, you know, you have this mixed news on stocks, but you have some good news, and they're hoping it'll generalize more. Oil is going down. You've noticed the price of gas is less, which everybody's breathing a sigh of relief over. And Ukraine started shipping grain, and they that seems to be doing well, at least the start of it. Another good piece of good news is that the United States is predicted to have a better crop than they thought we were going to have. And so this is going to lower the price of grains, which are dropping, and should help grocery prices to go down. And so gas is somewhat cheaper. Copper is falling, lumber's falling, coffee's falling. You know, if you look at the list of commodities that they track, about over half and maybe up to 2/3 of them seem to be coming down significantly. The only one that's really jacking up and going up a lot is natural gas. And that's because of the Ukraine situation and how Russia's playing that game. And the United States hopes to make up for some of the shortage that Europe is experiencing in natural gas. China made a big deal out of Speaker of the House, Pelosi, visiting Taiwan. And that's because they view Taiwan as their property, even though it's a separate and independent nation. And the question arises, why does China think they can tell the United States what countries we can and cannot visit? That is a good question. But it proceeded without incident, and that's actually good news. They were fearful something bad could happen. And I think this visit was partly about semiconductors. Taiwan produces a lot of semiconductors. Taiwan Semiconductor is a major producer, which is going to start making semiconductors in Phoenix. Intel is also going to be making more semiconductors because they passed a bill in Congress to increase semiconductor production in the United States, and it's like $50 billion. So it's significant, and it's the reason why I'm investing in semiconductor stocks. My favorite semiconductor stock has always been NVIDIA. NVDA is the symbol, NVDA. and it's a long-term trade, I call it. The way I invest in things long term, and I do this with Tesla all the time, and I've made a lot of money doing this, is I trade in and out of Tesla. When I think it's gotten too high, I sell it, and then I wait for it to look like it's going to pop, which it always does, and then I jump in on the pop. And I have jumped in on the pop recently in Tesla, as we shall see. And NVIDIA is doing very well. So I'm very happy with that. But there's a new kid on the block, and it's ACLS Technology, AXCELIS. Technologies is the name, and its symbol is ACLS. ACLS Technologies. Its price is in the 70s. Its value is around 87. Its trailing price to earnings is about 20. Its forward earnings, price to earnings is about 17. So, these are low values for a high technology company like this that has the wind at its back. So ACLS Technologies low price to earnings means that you're getting more bang for your buck. So it's very good in this situation, especially for a technology company. And they have an excellent growth rate of 35%. So this is a boomer. So I've told you a lot of the good news affecting the market, and I've told you what stock I'm buying. I also want to show you a chart of what stocks I'm now holding and the stop price I put on them. I don't want to get whipsawed by this market. I'm not, if this is a bear rally, it's a very convincing one. And I'm feeling more and more that it is not, that this is a meaningful move upwards, or at least it's not going to go down much more if it does go down. I think the tide seems to be turning. It's all what inflation and the Fed does. And so we're riding on that. So we're kind of in that waiting period. What's going to happen between now and September is what's very critical. Another piece of good news affects my Tesla investment strongly, and that's they reinstituted the EV credit, and they made it $7,500, and you don't have to have union workers in your factories. So Tesla will qualify for the 7,500. They also will give an EV credit if you buy a used EV. It can be up to $4,000. It depends on what the price of the used EV is. If it basically has to be 30% of the used EV's price, and it could be up to $4,000. But they have price limits on the new EV credit. If you buy a new vehicle, a new EV, and it's like 55,000 for a sedan, let's say. But if you buy an SUV or a truck of some kind or a van, it can be up to an $80,000 credit. So you might have to forego some of the goodies if you're going to buy one of these, or maybe Tesla will even lower its price to come under the caps. We shall see. They're getting more efficient. They should be able to make them somewhat cheaper. So I guess they wanted to give Tesla some incentive to come out with a cheaper vehicle, which they're more than capable of doing. But I see this as a big reason as why Tesla is booming. And I'm protecting myself by always putting a stop price after these stocks that I'm enthusiastic about. And as you look at this chart, you can see that sometimes the stop price is above what I bought it at. And the reason for that is that I bought it and then it went up. And it went up significantly. Uh, for example, ASCL, the stock I just talked about, I bought it at $70, but the stop price is at 72 because in the after hours it's over 74, and I expect it to keep going up. Uh, CSIQ, that's Canadian Solar. Uh, I bought it at 36, and it really hasn't done anything, but it kind of hangs around there. And I believe in this stock enough that I'm willing to take a small loss on it. So I set it at 34. NVDA is another one of these where I bought it at 179. It's like at 188, and I put the stop price at 183. Tesla has been the biggest winner. I bought it at 862. Uh, and then it's the stop price I put in at 894 because that's a previous, that's what I can tell from the chart, that if it goes below that, I start to get concerned. But right now, the price is like well over 900. It's like $922. Raise is a solar stock. It's a global solar stock. I think it benefits from the strong dollar. It's been hanging at 24, and it hasn't gone down, but it hasn't really done anything either. So I just keep the stop price at around 24. And I bought QQQ, which is an index fund of the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ. And it's just a play on this bull run. And it has ran, I bought 1,000 shares. I bought it at 311. I put in a stop at 313. Right now it's about 322. Hey, I'll take it. And I guess I put Tesla twice on the list. I guess you can tell which stock I'm the most enthusiastic about. So, the hard thing will be to decide to buy more of it. If it goes back down below my stop price, I'm undoubtedly buying more of it. It's just a case of the conditions. You know me, I can't help but trade, but I'm a long-term trader. So I paper handed, and I'm diamond handing it and paper handing it at the same time. I'm committed to owning it. It's just when to own it is the question. And I like to play around with it, and it seems to have worked so far. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And good luck to us all. And God bless Ukraine. And thank you very much.